Now, I can't believe this stupid thing's not going to freaking work. What does this button do? Pop chat, toggle participants. Wait, we got something here. Hello. Testing, testing, testing. All right. Yes, I see little green lights coming up when I talk. So hopefully this is working now. Fingers. So is everybody hearing me now? Okay. Third time's a charm. Thank you, Ranger. All right. Yay. All right. So let's let some people show up here after it got working. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Mark. Hello, Ranger. Okay. So where are we all from? I know I saw Germany and UK. While we're waiting for people, oh, Steve's about to get discharged from surgery. Well, I hope everything's okay. Yeah, really. See, I went to Germany on business a long time ago when, hi, Andy, from Amsterdam, cool. When I did computer programming. And I went there, and it's this town that I can't pronounce. I've tried over and over and over to try to pronounce this, but I have no idea. And then the hotel I was staying in, I had no idea how to pronounce it. I tried over and over and could not pronounce it. And when I'd get into a cab, I would learn, just say it as fast as I could, like that. And they'd go, oh, yeah. Still, I had no idea how to pronounce any of that stuff. But it was, no, I guess the town I knew was Wurzburg, I think it was called. Came in Frankfurt, right? Yeah. Oh, shit. Brain tumor. That's not good. I have a friend that had a brain tumor. Funny, the story was that he had these headaches, and he would go to the doctor, and they said it was migraine. So they'd put him on migraine medication, but it didn't go away. So finally he went to a new doctor, and they did some MRIs or whatever it was that they did. And so that day, right after he had the test done, he came back, or no, he went to see the doctor that same day after the test. And they're like, we're sending you over to the hospital for brain surgery, like right now. And so, yeah, he ended up having this big giant tumor in his head, and he didn't have a chance to get a second opinion or anything. They're like, no, you go right now. And anyway, it's all successful. He's all right now. He goes back ever so often to get checked up, and he's good. So hopefully the same way with you, Stephen. Good luck with that. I'm sorry that happened to you. All right, so we have 11 people. I think that includes me, though. So we have 10 people here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start, because there's something I wanted to talk about. Because with the last chat, I had Dana ask me, did performing have any help with doing this on YouTube? And my answer was no, but that's not true. My reasons were still good, and they're still valid, but of course it helped me in performing or speaking or anything like that in front of people. It's like pilots with flight time. You know, the more flight time you have, the better you're going to be at it. So of course it did. But of course I should have said there's a lot of things that it didn't help me with. And that's true. There's a lot of things that, performing didn't help with this at all. But of course there's helping me. So that brings on to something I want to show you, a magic trick I want to show you and talk about it. Now, I can't do this trick like it's supposed to be done because it's most definitely a in-person and in a specific type of venue to be done. So there's three kinds of performing magic. There's close-up, which is like if there was a table and people sat around the table, a lot of cards, a lot of coins and that stuff. There's also walk around close up where, you're in a restaurant and people walk up and say, they want to do some magic, which I hate doing that. I cannot stand doing that because every time I do it, I feel like I'm going, hey, I know you're having a nice conversation here and enjoying yourself, but hey, wouldn't you rather me watch me turn a 3 of clubs into a queen of hearts? Of course they don't. Who wants to watch that? So I don't really like that type of magic. And then there's the stage magic with the illusions, which I like a good stage show just as much as anybody. But I don't want to do that because technically the magician does nothing. Okay, the magician does this. Okay, that's what the magician does. All the work is being done by the girl in the box. Okay, so after the trick is done and you're clapping, you should be clapping for the girl in the box because she did everything. The magician just pointed to it. So that's not for me. So for me, it's in between. It's where the parlor, cabaret, small stage type of magic is. And a lot of people don't like doing that because it's so intimate, which is what I prefer to do it with. And the other reason people don't like to do this type of magic is because it's usually in a bar or a comedy club or someplace like that where there's alcohol being served. And so now you're dealing with hecklers. So people don't like that. And it's hard. You have to be good at that. So I came up with a trick that when I did bar shows, came up with this trick that I opened with. And this really set the stage for people not to mess with me because I would win. So what I would do is, first of all, when you come out, you also have to be very loud because everybody's talking and chatting with each other. So you have to tell everybody, stop what they're doing, watch me. And so it's what you do. And so what I do was I'd come out and I have a wallet. And notice how I hold it. This is how I'm also going to tell you the psychology behind this trick too, and all the reasons why I do stuff. That way you'll understand. And there's a reason I hold it just like this. I hold it just like this. And I introduce myself, say, hi, I'm Randy Rain. I'm here entertaining you tonight. But before I get started, the management has asked me to let everybody know that they found a wallet. All right. So now, when you have a bunch of people drinking in a room and you say, I found a wallet, there will always, always, always be some jerk that goes, oh, that's my wallet. Of course, you know the exact kind of people I'm talking about. So always someone said that. And when they do, I'm like, yeah, got them hook, line, and sinker because they shouldn't have said that. They will regret it. Anyway, so I had the wallet and I go, well, there's money in it, but there's no identification. Now, I throw that out there because now, for sure, they're going to say, oh, yeah, it's mine, because they want the money, of course. So I give them a little bit more rope to hang themselves. And I go, well, you're going to have to identify it. So I open it up just like this, and you see the wallet. Again, I'm holding it like this. There's a reason I hold it like this. And so I say, well, oh, wait, here you go. Look, there's a Petco card in here. Maybe it has your name on it. Of course, they don't. And I look at it and go, oh, no, there's no name. Are you an animal lover? And of course, they're going to say yes, even if they're not. But again, I give them that one. I'm giving them a little bit more rope to hang themselves because here's where it changes. I go, okay, well, here's a business card. There's something written on the back of this business card. You should be able to identify this. Do you know what's written on the back of this business card? And of course, they don't. So they're going to say no. And I go, yeah, that's right. No. And so at this point, the audience knows this is a joke. The audience knows the show has already started. And so does this guy. And he's regretting everything that he just said. But then I play it off more as a joke. Go, wait a minute, how do I know this doesn't say on? So no, you're going to have to identify this a little bit more. And so then I pull this out and I make sure, hold it up so they can see there's holes in it. And I say, oh, well, this is from Jenna's Peekaboo private adult viewing booth. Oh, well, how many more punches do you need before you get a free video of Backdoor Brothers? And of course, at this point, they're denying it. Oh, that's not my wall. No. And I said, no, don't worry about it. We're not judging here. We're not judging. It's fine. If you said this was your wallet, we're seeing if this was your wallet. So, of course, now they're denying it like crazy. So I open the little zipper up. I reach in. And I go, oh, look. Well, maybe you can identify this. Is this meth or is this cocaine? So, of course, now they really don't want to admit that they have drugs or anything. It's actually just a piece of napkin. There's nothing in there, no powder whatsoever, just a piece of napkin. But from a stage, you can't tell. And so now they're definitely don't want to admit that it's theirs. I go, well, let's look in here. And so I hold it like this, and I open it up, and I go, oh, are these your anal beads? Like that. And so now they definitely don't want to admit that it's theirs. And so you produce, that's why I held it like this, because you're producing a big object from a thin object that couldn't possibly be in there. And so that gives the magic part. But here is another psychological thing. You have to turn it back around. So you don't want to put, because now you've got the audience on your side. They want that person to shut up so you can do your thing, and you've won. So you gotta make amends. And so what I would do is go, oh, it's not yours. Okay, well, anybody, is this anybody's? And then finally I go, all right, well, they're mine now. So I put it back on me like I actually want these things. And so that makes everybody shut up and listen, and they're going to do it. So that's how I deal with hecklers and in that. So I wanted to show you. That's one of my favorite tricks. It's so funny. So funny to see these people, because you can usually spot them before the show, looking at the audience, go, it's probably that jerk off right there that's going to say that's their wallet. Anyway, that was that. So I hope you liked that. So we have any questions here that I can answer? Oh, yes. Steven said he had similar notice, but he had 2 weeks. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy. So, yeah, let me look here. Some people did say some stuff. Let me see what people said. See, Natalie C, or I say it wrong. It's Nathalie, which I love that name, Nathalie. That's a cool name. If you want to talk about what you didn't like about Dark Tower. Okay, well, I'm going to talk about that then. Okay. How long were you working in Europe for by Andy? It was 2 weeks. I was in Germany for 2 weeks. It was during Easter. I missed Easter. I was in Germany, which I learned that in Germany, in Easter, they put eggs on trees. So another funny thing was in this hotel that we were staying at, we came back and there's a little sign out front that's totally handwritten. You could tell it's handwritten. And we're trying to look at it and trying to figure out what it says. It's like, what does that say? What could it possibly say just taped up here? And we're looking around, trying to figure it out. No idea what it says. So finally we go inside, and everybody in Germany just about speaks English. It's really crazy. So like when you call somebody to order pizza or something on the phone, you go, do you speak English? And it's always the same answer, a little. So anyway, the lady behind the desk spoke perfect English. So I went in, says, "What's that sign say out front?" It said wet paint. So they just painted the rails and it was wet. So, but yeah, I'm glad I didn't touch anything. Let's see, have you ever got into the Tomy train systems, or are they too simple? I have looked into those. They are really cool. And if I can ever find one, like I buy so much of this stuff, I can't afford to pay top dollar what people ask for though. So if I ever find like a Tomy train system that's not outrageous for something broken, then yes, of course I will buy it and I will fix it and do all that. But they're hard to find. They're really popular. People like those and they spend a lot of money on those things. But anyway, yeah, in the summer, I'm going to be doing another big project. I haven't decided what I want to do. And one of them was rebuilding Dark Tower. Now, I have a friend who's actually a patron. He's not on here. I haven't seen him, but hasn't said anything at least. But he has a Dark Tower game, original. And so I think he's going to send it to me so I can open it up and we can have a look at it and see how it works and all that stuff. So maybe I won't do a remake. Maybe I'll just do that. Yes, Thomas, it is very hard to show a flea circus. And that was when I filmed the finale, the performance. It's not the best, because it's hard to perform in front of nobody, hard to perform something so small, hard to show it on camera. But the reason I made it like I did and made it one thing where you lift up and you're ready to go is because I want to try to do it with busking. And if you don't know what busking is on where you're on the side of the street, gathering a crowd and taking tips. And so you're very close there. And I've never been good at busking. It's very similar to walk around close-up magic, and I just don't want to interrupt people just to show them some magic. But with busking, it's a little bit different. And so what I want to do is also, the reason I also made a bunch of marionettes and also have a little monkey marionette with a little cup and stuff. And so with the flea circus and the marionettes and stuff, there's a buffer between me and the audience. And that's what I want because it just makes it easier. So it's not everything's focused on me. Everything's focused downwards. So that's why I made it like it is. And that's why I did it like it is. Like, if you go on YouTube and look up other flea circuses, which you may or may not should do because some of them are very, very bad. And you always see they all pull out. You all set them up on a table and you do all this stuff. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted an in-box one where you just open it up and you're ready to go. And so that's why. It's because it was busking. And that's why, yes, you do have, it is close-up magic for sure. Okay. So anyway, back to my talking about making stuff. So I might not make the Dark Tower remake. I don't know. Other ideas is right down here. Down here. This is my very bad Roby Senior. You can see all these are broken. I don't know. It doesn't work. I've tried to turn it on stuff. It doesn't work. So I would like to redo this and just make a new one of these. That's one project, and people actually like that idea. There's a few issues with it. And one of them is I don't know what to use. I have an original Raspberry Pi that was given to me. And every time I've tried to use that thing, I've always wanted too much out of it. And I would go in and I would try to do something that it can't do. and I would need to upgrade anyway. So I'd need a newer Raspberry Pi. So I've never had a chance to use that. And I have a feeling if I tried to do it with that, I'm going to get to a point where it's not doing what I want it to do. I need a bigger one. So again, I'd have to buy a bigger one, and that one would set around some more. Or I could use, like, there's a Color Max 2 or something like that. It's a 8-bit computer that's brand new, and I thought about using that. That might be fun because you can program in BASIC. That would be kind of neat. Maybe Arduino. I don't know. There's just so much that I haven't worked out with that one. Yeah, and like Casey, it's already been done. There are a few Arduino and Raspberry Pi builds on Omnimods. So it's already been done too. So that's another reason why I'm not so fond of that one. The other ideas were to build my own little toy robot like this, which I may do. And then there's the shooting gallery, which I'm going to do a shooting gallery no matter what. It just depends. Is it going to be a big one that's going to take me a while, or is it going to be a small one and I can do it in one video? That's my choices. Okay, Chuck wants to know what the Roby. So that's another question. What do I do with it? Do I just mimic what a Roby Senior can do and just do it with upgrade technology, or do I try to build something else? And I may try to, if I did, I'd probably try to build something else. Probably make it sentient, and try to make it detect stuff and detect movement and follow you around, that type of stuff. And so that, yeah, I may do it like that, but I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm not going to do it till this summer anyway, so I have plenty of time to figure it out. But I really want the shooting game because I have the Tomy Shootout in Space, which is a fun game, but you have to set the thing up every time. You have to crank this thing and put the little rockets up there and then go back and then shoot, then go back. I just want something where it can stay on all the time and I can just pick up a gun and just start playing around with it and shoot it. So that's kind of what I want to do with the shooting thing, and just use the gun from the Shootout in Space. I've also looked on eBay for Tin Can Alley games, and again, the money that people ask for these things are crazy. And some people spend it. It's like $100 on a broken game. Why anybody would pay $100? Yeah, Ranger. Yeah, better to do multiple parts and go into all the detail. I agree. But with if I did the shooting game and the single one, it would just literally just be one thing. So I could do that in one video. So I may do that. I don't know. But I have shot some more robot videos. Next month's going to be all robots. Yeah, Casey, and servos. I am not a big fan of servos myself. Servos are so problematic. And I do have IR sensors. And I did build a robot one time that did it. And so I'd probably kind of copy that. 90s, miss the days of 90s boot sales. I don't know what that is. Boot sales, like cowboy boot sales? 90s boot sales. I don't know what that is. That's in Texas, a boot sale is something totally different. But I do have some robots coming up. There's one right here that I still haven't finished the outro for, but it is done. This little guy. Oh, right. Yeah, boot as in the boot of your car, the trunk, what we call the car. I got you now. I got you. This one uses little cassettes. You have these little cassettes, and you push it in. Doesn't go in very well, but in fact, you have to really wiggle it in there to get it to go. As soon as you put it in there, it starts moving the wheels, power drive, and then the wheels turning here. so you can make it do little different things depending on which one you did. And I even made some of mine own, so did that. Yeah, 500 people all meet in a car park and clear out old stuff. Yeah, we don't really have that. We have flea markets, of course, and we have some of the biggest flea markets there is. And but it's usually not old junk. Well, some of it is. But when I went there looking for vintage toys, I didn't find anything. I've been to 2 of them, and one of them was like the biggest one in Texas, and didn't find any vintage toys. Found some good tools, but not any good toys. Yeah. I don't know about the Roby. The Sphero Star Wars droids. Those are cool. But yeah, I don't know if I would go into that. There's a toy show in Dallas that I went to, and there was one booth that had vintage toys in it. Everything else was those pops, which I can't stand. Those are the ugliest things I've ever seen. I don't know why anybody likes them. If you do, knock yourself out. It doesn't interest me at all. It was Pops and Hot Wheels and superheroes. So that's pretty much everything it was. No vintage stuff. Yeah, Pops are terrible. But if you see over here, I have the Tomy Astro Shooter. I actually have 2.5 of these things. I have another one full and another one missing the back. These are really, really cool pinball games. I'm going to be redoing those. So I'm also going to redo the other pinballs and totally customize it. And I'm going to do Tomy robot pinball games. Had Blip. Yeah, Blip is the worst game. It's neat how it works, but yeah, that game is not fun at all. Yeah, there's the Blip over here. So I do have a lot of cool stuff coming up. But yeah, back to Dark Tower. The reason I had a Dark Tower as a kid, and I remember I don't think I ever played the game completely correct because it just wasn't fun. I ended up not even doing the board and just holding the tower in my hand and playing it like a video game. Move, go to here and watch it. And that was more fun than actually putting the pieces around on the table. So that I would get rid of that. And I would do it more like a Dungeons and Dragons thing where it just happens in your head. So you move, you don't really have a move spot. You just move, imaginatively. And then you just see what happens. So that's why I didn't like Dark Tower. It was so cool. I loved it. Ended up taking it apart to see how it worked. And then couldn't put it back together. This is what I did as a kid. And that's the only thing different now is I can put stuff back together and it still work. Yeah, I would love to. I don't have a room for a real pinball game either. And my favorite pinball game is one called Dr. Dude. That's my favorite pinball game. It's generic. There's no real person, no cartoon or anything called Dr. Dude. I don't know where they came up with it, but the best thing about it is just the play. Things here and what you got to do and the order and the way it's set up. It's so much better. I also like the Addams Family game. That's the spirit thing. Lend a hand. Yeah. So Tiffany says, what design software do you use for your 3D models? Well, I first learned how to 3D model back when I was working in computers. And what I did in computers was basically programming graphics. I was the one who could figure out all the math and how to move this here. And the reason I was in Germany was we were doing a website called Pulmacist, I think is what it was called. It was an asthma thing, and it's for patients to keep up with their health on asthma and stuff. And so there was a lot of bar graphs, a lot of line graphs and stuff like that. So my job was they would feed me the information and I would create the graphics for it. And so that's where I learned how to do a lot of the graphic stuff. And what I learned on was 3D Studio Max, which is like very, very powerful 3D software. And I mean, you could do Jurassic Park with it. And anyway, it has a huge learning curve. And so it took me forever to learn that. And so that's what I learned on. But then when it came time to actually make models for 3D printing, that's all I really knew. So I ended up just using Blender online. It's free. It's actually very powerful. It's not really meant to do modeling, that type of model. It's more for graphics, but you can still do it. And it's very cool. It's very easy to do. Lots and lots of tutorials online on YouTube telling you how to do it. So that's what I use. And I just export as an STL. And then I have Repertoire, I think is what it's called. The slicer. Yeah. Repetier, however in the world you pronounce that. I think it's a German company as well. Anyway, I like it. It slices really well. It uses the Cura engine, I believe. And so I use that and I slice it up. And then my 3D printer, which is in this box right here, I use ABS plastic. That's why I have this insulation box around it to keep the heat in, because you need a lot of heat for ABS, unlike PLA. But there's more stuff you can do with it. You can smooth it out easier. It's stronger and stuff. And I don't know, I just prefer it. And this is my second 3D printer. And both the ones I have are just cheapos. I think it's the website called Cheap 3D Printers or something like that, online or something. It's a Chinese company, and they send you a kit, and you have to put the kit together. And it's not always right. The instructions are horrible. You really need to know what you're doing and all that stuff. But you can get cheap 3D printers, and they are cheap. And I've had to replace a lot of parts and rebuild a lot of parts. But finally, I got it to where it works, and I like it. So, yeah, mine's not a fancy 3D printer at all. And for me, I don't need one because I very rarely do stuff that is show, that you actually see. It's all mostly mechanical parts and stuff. And if I do, I can always clean it up, make a mold of it, and recast it. So, yeah. Let's see. Wonder Wizard home use machines are usually $100. Wonder Wizard home use machines. I guess those are 3D printers. But $100 is about what I paid for my first one, and I think I paid a little bit, 120 or something for my second one. Yeah, you can get them really cheap. So yeah, that answers Tiffany. And what printer? Cheap one. They're starting to come down on like laser cutters and CNC machines. So I'm looking into that next on getting that. For getting started in 3D printing, yeah, like I said, if you buy the cheap ones, you're going to need to know a little bit on how, because it's probably not going to work very well, and you're going to need to know how to make it work very well. But as far as easy, cheap ones, maybe like a MakerBot or something. Yeah, I want a CNC machine very badly, but I can't afford one. Let's see. Yeah, and actually the name of the printer is I don't know how you pronounce it. It's HE3D. I don't know if that's HEED and that 3 is supposed to be an E, or it's He3D or HE3D or whatever. It's here. I'll type it in. This is what it looks like. HE3D. That's what it's called. And they used a lot of acrylic plastic pieces. And once I built my box around it, they actually started melting and bending. So I had to replace all that. I had to replace the heating coils because they were junk. The heads and all that. I replaced all that. One of the little traveling cart thing was acrylic. I made an aluminum one out of that for that. So it all works a lot better. Let's see. Go back up here. Yeah. My son had to rebuild both his Jeep. Yeah, they are. But you end up getting a better one, so. My laser seems much more useful than my old Prussian Clone 3. I probably agree with that. I want a laser cutter very bad. There is a library. In Texas here, you have state libraries and you have city libraries. And all the state libraries have maker spots in them. They have 3D printers, laser cutters, and stuff like that. And so there is a local library that costs like literally $1 to go use it. And I have done stuff with it like that. But I really want my own. Hey, Randy, do you have a favorite? This is from Mark, movie Rube Goldberg machine. Not from a movie, but I can remember when I first discovered Rube Goldberg. I was in the library at my high school, just digging around in there, and there was a book I found called How to Get a Cotton Ball Out of an Aspirin Bottle. And it caught my eye. I was like, what in the world is this? And it was literally by Rube Goldberg, and all the different steps of, like, one of my favorite one there was a dog, and he was hooked to a car jack, and there was a bone hanging up above him. And so as he jumped for this bone, he jacked up the jack, which pushed something, and then so forth. And it ended up a cotton weevil on a string comes down and grabs the cotton ball out of it. And I thought that was so great. I loved every minute of it. So, yeah, that was my first Rube Goldberg machine thing, was from a book. What games or robots are your most wanted list? Maybe post them so we can help finding them. Let's see. As far as I talked about games, and someone did find them. It was called Pivot Golf. Pivot Golf was one. There is one on eBay right now that they're asking hundreds of dollars for, and they're out of their mind if they think, oh, I was watching it too, and they sent me a discount. Ooh, it only cost $170. I'm still not paying that. And then there was another one, the pirate game, which was from Mark's. It was just called Pirate something or another. I don't remember, but it was found too. As far as robots that the only robots that I really want are the rare Tomy ones that only came out in Japan. They're hard to find. You only see them in Japan. And I've never seen them in person. So stuff like that. But as far as other robots, the ones I get are the ones I don't know about. It was like never heard of. Like I didn't know this thing exists. And come to find out, it's several companies put it out. Even Playtime Productions had a version of this one, which is just a Hong Kong robot that people slap their names on. So I don't really know about robots. Not sure. Beth says, I'm thinking of stripping the 3D printer to build a CNC. Yes, and there are details on YouTube of people doing that, where they've taken a Dremel, and they've hooked their Dremel to a 3D printer. And I've thought about doing that myself. Yeah, Casey can't have enough dingbots. Actually, yes, you can. I'm about to get rid of my dingbots. That's one of the videos I'm doing. I have 2 of these blue ones now, which gives me 5 dingbots, and I'm going to get it down to just 1 blue one, 1 regular one. And a lot of my doubles I'm getting rid of. Like I also just did the bank. Where is it? The bank up here. I have 2 of those. I'm going to be selling one of those on eBay. But those were fun. I got that opened up and figured out how that worked. It's basically a dingbot. It's basically a spotbot dingbot that doesn't move and but does its little bank thing. The only weird thing about that one was the shell. And after I got it open, I figured out why it's so weird. And it's because you need space to keep the coins. It's a bank. So they skimped on a lot of stuff, and it's very flimsy kind of. But yeah, and there's even some tape in there, which is weird. Tape. Tomy used tape. But the reason is because, they needed room for money. And which this one up here is actually my bank. I've been putting money in it. Let's see. Yes. Have you ever thought about building a robot from scratch? Yes, that's one of my things I may do this summer is completely build my own robot, get the motors, the things, and I thought maybe and sell them. I'd sell the whole robot, sell a kit that you can put together yourself, and even just uploading the STL file so you can print it out and make your own if you wanted to. Okay, well, thanks, Tiffany. I'll look into the Chinese K4 laser. When you mentioned Tarbell and the Fleecer, did you just kind of browse through the books to find ideas? I think they're already supplied in that way. Tarbell, I read Tarbell over and over and over again. Tarbell has just about every concept of magic in it. There's practically, of course there is, but most of it's technology based. Anything new based on technology, of course, is not going to be in there because this came out, I think, the 40s, maybe. I don't know. It's very, very old. And so there's some non-PC stuff in there as well. But, it's old, so expect that. But to learn magic, it's such a great resource. And to learn ideas on how to improve magic that already exists, which is what I like to do, that's what I did. And that trick in Tarbell, there was it's not around anymore. We quit doing it, but there used to be a little convention in Dallas, magic convention. It was a small time close-up convention. And it was, everybody really knew everybody there. It was very small. And one thing that everybody had to do a trick. So everybody had to get up and do a trick. And one time, my friend Mike Squires got up and he did that trick. He set up 2 chairs, the string and everything. And so I just remembered it from that and just remembered seeing it in Tarbell because I read Tarbell all the time. I just flip through it and look at it and go, instead of this, what could this be? Which is how I came up with my TNT Chinese sticks. I was going through there. I was like, okay, instead of Chinese sticks, what could it be? And it just dynamite. So that's how I came up with it. And I come up with a lot of ideas on just going through Tarbell, seeing methods, seeing what it could be and what it needs to be nowadays. So yeah, I read Tarbell a lot. Okay, let's see. Ever thought about making a common one into an analog line following bot? Yeah, there's so many of those out there already, and that is so simple to do, really. I use black lines and little IR sensors all the time. Like can't see it, up above, just out of sight there, the little gondola. The gondola, the way it knows where it is on there is there's a spinning on on the pulley of the motor, there's black lines. And there's a little sensor that counts the black lines. So it knows how many black lines pass to get all the way from one side to another. And it counts them. So it knows where it is at all times. So I use the little sensors all the time. And to make a little robot follow a line, that'd be so simple. Line following. Tow me train, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Just not make it a robot and make it something else. I like that idea. So I don't know if I can see. There's the gondola up here. There it is right there. You can see all these robots up here. This one doesn't work. Needs to be fixed. This one doesn't work and needs to be fixed. All of these I've already done videos on, except for this last one. I got that one really dirt cheap, so I went ahead and bought it. Not my kind of robot, but still, I got it. I prefer vintage robots. Let's see. I'm also about to do a deep dive on the Armatron again, and also have a mobile Armatron that I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. My first video was a long time ago, and I was new to it. I didn't know anything. So I'm just going to take it all apart and completely show exactly 100% how every bit of it works. That's coming up. Let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, this dingbot here. This is a blue one that I got recently. He's got a broke arm. So I'm going to replace the arm. And these came out in 2000. Back in 2000, Tomy put out some of the robots again. That's where the green Flipbot came from, the blue one. I live on a boat. Well, that's neat. Live on a boat. Wish I lived on a boat. Yes, they do have a cat. There is a cat bot, or it's called a purr bot or something like that. And I've never seen it. I do not think it came out in America. So I'm pretty sure it's a Japanese only. And that's one of the ones that I would like to get a hold of, is the cat one. Oh, maybe the cat one is one from the 2000. I don't know. All I know, it's on the website. If you go to the Old Robots website, there they show it. But I have not seen one up for sale, that's for sure. What's this? Man, my computer gets so hot doing this. Fans blowing like crazy. I need a new computer. That's what I need. I need to quit buying robots for a little while and buy a new computer. It gets harder. The more powerful the camera I get, the more HD, the more my computer struggles with everything. Yeah, all these up here, the pyro bots and the force bots, I'm probably going to be getting rid of those. At least, except for the rare ones I have up there. Because there are so many of those on eBay, and they're all broken because they're crap. They're junk robots, and so every one of them are broken. So I'll be probably getting rid of most of those and buying some more. So Beth lives in a narrow boat. I don't know what that is. It's a very thin boat. It's interesting. I know a lot in Florida, people live on boats. You can like look out in the ocean and you see boats out there. And I was going to do the tiny house thing one time, and I started it building a van inside of a van, but the van was a piece of junk, and so I ended up just selling the van. It's just too much to repair the van. Were you ever scared of robots as a kid? I remember the android robots and the $6 million man scared the bejesus out of me. No, not really. Robots never scared me, and I remember the $6 Million Man. I do not remember a robot on there though. It's been so long since I've seen that. No, robots didn't scare me. I tell you what did scare me as a kid though was Sleestaks from Land of the Lost. Boy, every time they went into that cave and there was those Sleestaks just there, scared the crap out of me. Except for that nice Sleestak, the one with the gold thingy on there or whatever. He into the gems. He was nice. He didn't scare me. Yeah, but there's like 3 costumes, I think, of Sleestak. So it's the same costumes you see over and over. Which, I don't know if y'all know Croft Superstars or Croft. Might just be an American thing. It was, you had Land of the Lost, Sigmund the Sea Monster, H.R. Puffenstuff. Yeah, Maximilian was cool. I actually liked the movie Black Hole. I do like that robot. And I like the little beat up one because that's Slim Pickens doing the voice. And I always liked Slim Pickens. He was funny. And Blazing Saddles is one of my favorite. Well, all Mel Brooks movies are my favorites. So Vincent, yeah, Vincent was he was the working one, right? And there was the other one that was beat up that Slim Pickens did the voice for. I can understand. Beth says, most of my space in tiny living seems to have become workshop. That would be what mine. I would be sleeping next to a saw of some sort, I would imagine. Bob, that's right. B-O-B, yes. Yeah. But no, robots never, I can't think of a robot that scared me. No. Return to Oz. I know what you're talking about. I don't know if I've actually ever saw it. I remember The Wiz and those creepy people on roller ball things. That was freaky. That scared me too. There's a few things on The Wiz that were kind of creepy. But no, robots. I can't think of a robot that. I always liked the robots. There was another Croft show called Far Out Space Nuts, which had Bob Denver from Gilligan's Island, who played Gilligan. He was in it. And there was a look-alike of Skipper in it, but it wasn't Skipper. It wasn't Bob Hale. It was somebody else, and I don't remember who it was. A famous character actor that you see a lot in bit parts. But they weren't really robots. They're kind of cyborg-type creatures. They were scary. They were scary. Oh, yeah, Saturday morning. The Croft, interesting thing, Croft actually dates from Texas. If you go to Six Flags over Texas, which is the very first Six Flags park, the original, Croft had a show out there, had a big giant puppet show out there with, all kinds of stuff. And if you see, there was another Croft show called Lidsville. It was about hats. It was about hats that were alive. And the opening of it was filmed in Six Flags. And Lidsville they made all the stuff out there. So it had Butch Patrick from the Munsters in it. He was the little boy. There's a magician. and which was played by Charles Nelson Riley. Which Charles Nelson Riley, if you ever look him up, as far as directing and theater and that type of stuff, the guy's a genius at that type of stuff. So funny too. He's a very funny guy. Not long gone, but he was funny. Anyway, he was the Great Hoodoo. And matter of fact, if you listen to the very first Marilyn Manson CD, there's clips from the Great Hoodoo in it. So if you hear this part where it's the Great Hoodoo, that's Charles Nelson Riley from that. And so yeah, Six Flags also, they also did, wasn't Croft, but it was the Banana Splits. And the opening scene was, Croft made the costumes for the Banana Splits, and they actually filmed the opening. When you see them at the theme park in the beginning of the Banana Splits, at least most of it, I don't know all of it, but most of it is Six Flags Over Texas. Batteries not included. Made a bot. Not that I'm aware of. And I remember seeing that movie as a kid, and I see I was probably 16 or so. My friend worked at the movie theater, and we used to go watch movies, and that was one of them. And I liked that movie. And then I watched it not too long ago on HBO, and kind of thought it was boring. But the robots are still cool in it, though. I do like those, and those would be good ones to make. They are the style that I like. It's kind of like Zathura, that robot in there is a very cool robot as well. Yeah, Doctor Who. We have Doctor Who. I mean, even back then. Matter of fact, another Texas thing, PBS, which if you not in America, you probably don't know what that is, but it's Public Broadcasting Station. It's a government fund broadcasting. It's also donations and stuff, but the government does pay a little bit for you because it's all about education. And on Saturday nights, Saturdays and Sundays sometimes, they used to play Britcoms and other British shows. And Doctor Who that's where it showed up first in America. Same with Monty Python. And so, yeah, the scarf guy, what's the guy's name? He was my favorite. He's done so much. I can't ever remember his name, though. Matter of fact, I saw him on an old movie just the other day. What was he played? I can't remember what it was. Tom Baker, yes, Tom Baker. That's who that is. He was my favorite. And that old man, too. He was good, too. But yeah, we had Doctor Who here. But it came on Saturday nights on PBS. Right after Are You Being Served and Open All Hours and, let's see, of course, Monty Python. Let's see. And now I'm stuck on trying to think of what movie I saw Tom Baker in just the other day. It wasn't a new movie, of course. It was an old movie. But you couldn't recognize him. If you didn't know that's who it was on HBO. I'd have to look it up. The K9 robots, yeah. That's funny. People give me the broken. I don't have any. No one's giving me any broken ones. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like I hear that a lot, that the UK don't like Are You Being Served? Which, I don't know. The pussy joke's pretty funny. My favorite one is where Mrs. Slocum calls her neighbor because she has to stay late at work, and she tells her neighbor, can he go to her door, open up the mail slot and see if he can see her pussy. If he can he please drop a sardine down for it? That's pretty funny. So Sinbad, yes, that is what it was. Sinbad, for sure. The Golden, that's what I was watching on. Yes, the Golden something or another. Yes, that was the one I was watching. That was Tom Baker. He played the evil guy on there. Yes. I was in a Harryhausen kick. I wanted to watch Harryhausen stuff, so I watched that one. Which I love old Harryhausen stuff. Clash of the Titans is in Jason and the Argonauts. Those are so good. Let's see what other. The Mr. Bean. They played Mr. Bean. There's a bunch of. They still do it. Still to this day, Saturday and Sunday nights are British television nights on PBS. Keeping Up Appearances, yes, they did that. And Faulty Towers, most definitely. Those all get played. They get rotation. I wouldn't. K9s are ever. I can believe that. But yeah. What was the other one? One with the death has a son. Oh, I can't remember what that one's called. Also, God, what's her name? The big, tall, goofy girl. Miranda. They play Miranda, which I think is funny too. Yeah, Keeping Up Appearances, definitely one of they show a lot of that. Which Bucket or Bouquet she's pretty funny. Who else? No. And then they did both the Open All Hours and then the second later one where he's dead. And all right, Mark, go feed the baby. Thing. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else anybody want me to talk about? Because I don't know what else to talk about. All right. Let's see. Here we go. I got deck of cards here. Someone name a card. Someone post a card in the chat. First one to do it. Who is it? Someone's posting a card. Anytime now. Maybe a delay. Oh, here we go. We got Ranger says 9 of diamonds. All right. Well then. Check this out. Here, a bunch of cards. And you'll see that one of these cards is upside down. And only one card is upside down. And it just so happens to be the 9 of diamonds. Just like that. Yeah, it says Beth about being progressive and having a gag character on there that wasn't evil. That's true. That was a lot of times happened. But he was very, very good actor. And what's his name? Inman. Last name's Inman. I don't remember. Anyway, he was very, very good. He's kind of like a Charles Nelson Riley. He's the kind of person who knows John Inman. He knows a lot about theater, knows a lot about how presentation, And that's what I like. And that's what I like to study. And that's the problem with magicians. Here, I'll tell you something else. See what, wait a minute. Yeah. David Murray, who is the 8-bit guy. If you don't know, I did a robot with him. And that's how I met him. He actually lives about 20 minutes from me here. Now, David is a very, very nice guy. And David, when you watch the 8-bit guy, he is exactly that guy you see on the video. He is no different in person. That's who he is. And when we were talking, like I said, he's a very nice guy. And he told me I don't like magic. And which I get told that a lot. And, you know, I agree with you. I don't like it either, but not technically. The thing is that every time someone says, I don't like magic, it means one or two things. Either A, they are shallow and they can't stand for someone to know something that they don't know. And those are the kind of people I don't like, because you're just jealous because someone pulled something over on you. Really, it's a card trick. Get over it. I mean, it's not like they got money out of you or anything. They didn't fraud you or anything. They just showed you a trick. So that kind that bugs me. But that's not the kind of one he is. He's the other one. He hates magic because he's never seen a good magician. And the reason he's never seen a good magician is there's not that many good ones out there. And here's the reason for that. Any other thing, any kind of performing arts, dance, comedy, that type of stuff, you have to do it. Like you can go steal jokes and call yourself a comedian, but you're going to get outed and everybody's going to think you're horrible and you're a hack. You've become a hack. So you can't just go buy jokes and just say a comedian. You can't just say, oh, I'm a dancer or I'm a singer. You have to actually put in some work. Not true with magic. Magic, you can go to the magic shop, buy a bunch of magic tricks, and call yourself a magician and start booking gigs. Now, that does not mean you're good. You can actually do the trick. And that's the other thing is magic in itself is entertaining. I mean, you see something floating in the air, it's entertaining. But that's not where the artistic part comes in, just the trick. And that's what most magicians do. They just rely on the trick to be entertaining. And that's not how you do it. What I tell magicians is I say, take the magic trick out. Take the magic trick out. Are you still entertaining? If you're not, then you're not a very good magician. So the trick is just a device. It's just something to help you with. That's not what should be the focus. The focus should be on the entertainment value. And so many magicians don't understand that at all. And they think because they like the trick, they think it's neat and fun, that everybody else is going to. And that's just not the case. And for a lot of times, that's why you see very, very bad magicians out there. And there is a lot of them. A lot of them. There's more bad magicians than good magicians easily. Way outnumber the good. And so, yeah, if that's all you see, and why wouldn't you see it? If you're not actually going out and looking for a good magician, then of course that's all you're going to see. And you're going to go, that's horrible. And I totally agree with it. So when someone says something like that they don't like magic, it's because they haven't seen a good magician. He's retired now because of the virus, but if you used to could go to Vegas and there's all these big magicians there, Penn and Teller's great. You can go see Penn and Teller if you want to, or David Copperfield and all these people. But for me, go see Matt King. Matt King had a matinee show. It was during the day. It was cheap. It was only like $20, I think it was. I think it went up to $25 there at the end. And I guarantee you would have a smile on your face the entire show. He's funny. He's amazing. It's so clever. So yeah, you can't tell me that if you go see somebody like that, you would never say, "Oh, I like magic." No, you just don't like bad magic, and neither do I. But there are very, very good magicians out there. So yeah, that's my David Murray story. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people found me from him because what happened was he did a unboxing video where someone sent him this guy right here, the Heroid. And when I saw that, I was, oh, you lucky guy that someone sent you a Heroid. And anyway, I waited and waited, and he never did anything with it. So I contacted him one time, and he was interested, but then he was busy doing other stuff, and it went nowhere. Contact him later on. He was like, yeah, I was just thinking about doing something with that. And so that's how it got started. So I did it for him and fixed it and made it work. And yep, that was the Heroid 8-bit guy. I haven't really talked to him since either. Just a couple of chats here and there, about it. I would, just don't have much to talk to him about. He doesn't like magic, so. Good question. You're about to go off on this. All right. Is it harder getting a gig being original these days? I mean, people want safe, right? Something that, yes. So much yes. Here's how I explain it. When people need to hire entertainer, magician, whatever, nowadays what they want is, you have to look at it like ice cream. You could go, if you're in charge to buy ice cream for a party, you could go and buy the most radical chocolate chip cookies and cream, blah, 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 caramel mixed, and it's just this a crazy amount of ice cream. And some people are going to go, oh, that is so good. And people are going, nah, I don't like it. I don't like it like that. And so you don't want that. So what you end up doing is just buying vanilla. You just buy vanilla, so everybody will like it. And so no one, and that's what's happened right now. People don't want this original acts and stuff because they're going to have to, someone's going to complain about it. Oh, I had a, where they can just go hire some vanilla run-of-the-mill person and call it good. And that's what I hate that. Yes, that's very, very true. It's the reason you don't see the Amazing Jonathan performer anymore. There's nobody taking Amazing Jonathan's performance right now. Because no one would hire him. No one would hire another Amazing Jonathan right now. There's no way he could become as successful as he did back in the 80s today. No way. He's not doing very well. He's sick. Has a lot of health problems, but that's what happens when you snort cocaine for your entire life. But I do know him. I have met him several times. I know his wife very, very well. She is a close friend of mine. He is a nice guy, and I do hope he gets better. But yeah, he was a partier for sure. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't perform very much anymore for that reason. There's not many people that will hire me anymore. They would rather just go with the run-of-the-mill old man magic, basically, is what I call it. Let's see, Chuck, do you think being a big guy helped your numbers? Yes, it did. Yeah, if you look at the analytics, it goes like that. So it's flat, real flat, jumps up, spike, and then it's about halfway the rest of the way. So yeah, most definitely. I mean, he has 1 million subscribers, so. And I would like to do some more. Eric from Eric's Trains he was supposed to be on here. I guess he didn't get to make it. But he has a model train. He does model trains and all that stuff. And he has a channel that's very popular. I keep trying to do some stuff with him, trying to get him to think of an idea that we could do. But yeah, so far, hadn't come up with a good one yet. And I'd like to do others with other YouTube people, but I don't know. I know at one point I kept having this people saying, "Oh, my mate Vince sent me." It's like, "Oh, okay, well, your mate's nice. Thanks, Vince." And I got that over and over. My mate Vince. Well, there's a YouTube channel called My Mate Vince, and that I didn't figure that out till a while. Beth asks, "Is retrobriding trademark?" No, it's not. A lot of people do it different too. There's one guy who restores like Tonka trucks and stuff. He does retrobriding a little bit different. He just uses straight up hydrogen peroxide, like the medical kind that you buy, and he uses OxyClean, and he puts that into UV light. So yeah, you can do it. Any type of bleach really is all you're doing is bleaching it. And I don't know, really and truly, a lot of it doesn't last for me. A lot of the stuff that I've retrobrided, it's already gotten yellow. Like, let's see. Here's the Omnibot. You can't, he's completely filthy, but you can't see on here. But if you saw it in real life, he's back to yellow again. Not near as bad as he was, but of course it has yellowed. But other stuff like this guy, who was just a little bit yellow, and this one came out, yeah, there's nothing changed on him. So he's still as bright as could be. So I really don't know about that retrobriding. It's kind of, I think it has to do with the plastic. Yeah. Tiffany says, "I thought about spray painting white instead." Yeah. The problem with paint on plastic is getting it to bond and stay bonded. And then if you handle it, the oils on your hand, like you need to use a lacquer. A lacquer would be much better than enamel, because enamel, the oil will start breaking it down. But if you're going to use lacquer, you're definitely going to have to use a primer, because lacquer itself is not going to stick. So Andy's got to go. Thanks for joining, Andy. So yeah, that's why I don't really spray paint things, because there's been times that I have painted stuff and I didn't like it. It had to redo it. Yeah, so Tiffany says, Omnibot 2. Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet. Somebody was moving, and they said, "I've got these robots that I'm moving. I don't want to take with me. Can I send them to you?" I said, "Sure." He said it was an Omnibot. So Omnibot, a Verbot, and a Spotbot. Well, I got them. It wasn't an Omnibot. It was an Omnibot 2000. And this thing is not mustard color. This thing is brown. I'm talking brown, or like, I don't know. I don't have anything brown right here, but it just it's not yellow. It's not mustard. It's brown. This is the most ugliest thing you've ever seen, and it is entirely covered in brown. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It might just be a parts thing. I don't know. And the spot bot is fixable for sure. The Verbot, which I already have 2 of them here, it's brown too, broken pieces. I don't know what I'm going to do with that either. But yeah, you want to see. I would get it out, but it's in the closet all packed up. Let's see. Foiling it like a car. How about foiling it like a car? Ranger says. I'm trying to think what you mean, foiling it. Is that like the wraps that they do on cars? I don't know. Foiling it. I don't know. What is foiling? Let's look it up. Foiling car. Yeah, it's the wrapping stuff. Okay. I haven't thought about that. Yeah. It'd be better. For sure. It could be. I also thought about that dipping stuff where you put it on the film on the water and you dip it down and stuff. I don't know. I think retrobrutting is actually the way to go if you want it white. I just think you just really have to do more than what you think. Like for one, the Omnibot, I did during the winter. And so there wasn't all that much sun. So that helps. So putting it in harsh, a lot more sun is better. Probably getting UV lights is probably the better way to go. They make floodlights that are for, if you ever seen these glow in the dark, it's not glow, it's just phosphorescent stuff. Shows where the people are flying around and they're just dressed in fluorescent colors and stuff. There's a big giant UV spotlight, not a spotlight, it's a floodlight that floods the stage. And if you got one of those, I think that's the way to go. They're just not cheap. But I probably could get one fairly cheap. Locally here, there's a store called Magic Etc. It's a magic shop, but it's also a costume shop. It's also a lighting and stage shop and all that. And they have them there. And I could probably I know the owner, so he would give me a discount. So I could probably get one cheap, just haven't done it yet. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's see what we got. Hold on, let's see Eric's. Oh, yeah, Eric got sucked into work issues. That's fine. Not a problem. Is it the right wavelength? Maybe one of those lights for curing nail varnish would be better. It's UV, which is the same for curing the nail varnish. But there's UVA, UVB. I think there's even a UVC. So who knows which one it is really? But most of the UV lights put out all the spectrums. So even blue light, if you look at like LEDs on blue light, they put out a little bit of a UV spectrum as well. Any kind of blue LED. And basically it's energy. So I've heard that heat works as well. Just any kind of heat, any kind of radiation. So maybe gamma rays, but peroxide, gamma rays, it goes white. So I don't know. Yes, got some grams. Chuck says, I got some LED. Yes, they do work well. But man, I bought some and they were crap, and they weren't bright at all. And so you gotta check those. Make sure you get some that are bright, because ones I got weren't bright at all. Ended up not using it. Took like weeks for it to do anything. But let's see, I've been going on an hour and 25 minutes here. I've been talking. That's surprising. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up soon here. What else can I do? Any other things? You want to see another trick? What do you want? I do have something I could show. Let's see. Hold on a sec. Yeah, trick. Okay, hold on a sec. I'll show you. This is my little close-up magic box here. Let's see. I've got my from my good friend Bizarro. If you don't know who Bizarro is, he's a magician and an inventor of magic and stuff, and he makes these Oreos. This is an original Bizarro Oreo. It's seen better days, but you like that and kind of suck all the stuff out of it. But if you just magically, it fills right back up. That's magic. Let's see. All right. There's some packet tricks now. In here, I'm going to show you a packet trick. This was created by a local here in Fort Worth, Texas. He's passed away not too long ago, though, but Arthur Emerson was his name. And he invented this trick. I have a couple of versions here of it. Let's see. We'll go with this one. It's a newer one. They get kind of worn out. Anyway, this trick put his son through college. This has been sold a buttload of times. All right, let's see if I can. It's a card trick, so I got to set up so we can see it here. Let's see what we got here. There's my computer, my desk, everything. All right. All right. So, what this trick is the 3-card Monty. You've probably heard of the 3-card Monty, or you've at least seen it. It's where they put out 3 cards, and you got to try to, find the jack and whatever, win your money back, or whatever type of thing it is. And that's what the trick is. It's like the shell game, but it's with cards. But I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to do it a little bit different. And these cards are bicycle cards, but they're actually made for this. And so you see there's one here. This one has a red diamond on it. So there's one of those. There's another one with a red diamond on it. And then there's the money card. The money card is the one with the blue diamond on it. So that's the one you got to keep up with. So it starts off on top like this. So the money card starts off on top. And now you have to keep up where it goes. And so I'm going to take the top card and I'm going to place it on the bottom just like that. And so if I was to ask you, where is the blue card? And what I would do is bet you $1 that you can't find it. And so you'd say, well, it's on the bottom. And I'd say, no, that's the red diamond. So you owe me $1. Right? So and then they say, well, you never put it on the bottom. It's still on the top. And I'd say, no. That is a red diamond too. So now you owe me $2. And they say, well, there's only one card left. It's got to be this middle card. And I'd say, nope, that one's red as well. So now you owe me $3. And now they're really confused. So they go, well, where is the blue card? And I go, well, I'll tell you, but it cost you $1. So you now owe me $4, but it's right here on the bottom. But now what I do is I give them a little help and I give them better odds. Like, okay, instead of finding the blue card, which is 1 in 3 chance, try to find the red cards. That's That's 2 out of 3 chances, so much better odds. And say, okay, well, I know the bottom card is blue, so this top card right here, it has to be red, but no, that one's blue as well. And so, okay, if the top card's blue and the bottom card's blue, which, by the way, you owe me $5 now. Well, so the middle one here has got to be a red card, but see, that one's blue as well, so now they owe you $6. But now they're accusing you of cheating. They're saying, well, you obviously have more than 3 cards. And I go, no, look, 1, 2, 3 cards, just like that. So for calling me a cheater, that's another $1. You owe me $7 now, but I'll give you one more chance, double or nothing. If you can tell me what's on the bottom card, what's the bottom card right now, what color, double or nothing. And so then I ask the person and I go, and just for fun, what color do you think it is? And they'll say red or blue, of course. And I say, nope, it's green, and you owe me $14. And there you have it. That trick is called Color Monty, created by Arthur Emerson, and it put his son through college. Let's see. I don't know what else I have in here. Yeah, these are just a bunch of packet tricks that I have. These are another good. These are called Feel a Color, but you need participants with that. You can't just show it. Such a good trick, though. And then I made this for my little David Copperfinger puppet. You show the Statue of Liberty on these cards here, and you have them sign their name here on the bottom like this. And you take the card and you pull it out, and then the puppet does his magic and poof, gone. And their name's still signed on the bottom. Then you have a knife here, this little pocket knife like this, silver here, but if you put it in your hand like this, it turns blue. Look at that. It's now a blue pocket knife like that, and I can just spin it, and it automatically turns just like that, and give it a shake, and it's back to blue, and there, back to silver. All right, well, that's an hour and 32 minutes. So unless someone else has something they want to ask, David said, do you have Mr. Time? I've always wanted one. I do want to answer this one. No, Mr. Time is hard to find in the United States. And when you do find them, they are very expensive. So no, I don't have one. I wish I did too, but nope, can't find one that they don't want to charge a fortune for. So do not have a Mr. Time. All right, so I don't see any more questions coming in. Well, I want to thank everybody that showed up today. Thank you very much. I'm going to try to do this more often. So maybe once a week, maybe every Thursday. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It's just fun. I like doing this. As long as I have stuff to talk about. That's the hardest part, is coming up with things to talk about. But I did good today, I think. I had some good stuff to talk about, but I'll run out really fast, though. So anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you. See, we got Beth and Ranger and Chuck and David and Tiffany and Thomas. And I'm just looking. There's a lot of people here. Thank you all for Andy. Yeah. Casey. Mark. See, may I miss? Chuck, of course. All right. Well, thank you all for coming, and I'm going to close it out. See you next time.